What celebrity did you used to like until you found out that they were a scumbag?
Ashton Kutcher. Thought he was pretty funny at first on that 70s show, then Punk'd rolled around and he just seemed like a massive narcissist.
Chris D'Elia. Thought he was pretty funny, but he's just a pervert.
Kevin Spacey. That man is an incredible actor, just also an incredibly terrible person. Woody Allen has made so many all-time great films, but is a total piece of crap, and the more we learn, the worse it gets.
Kevin Spacey, LA Confidential is one of my favorite movies. And the fact that he plays a character haunted by a young Hollywood actor's mistreatment and murder? It's a bitter twist.
Much like monkeys, celebrities are best enjoyed at a distance.
J.K. Rowling. I used to love Harry Potter, like most people my age, and as a bookworm, I was also happy that her books inspired so many young people into reading. Then she went off the rails, and I can no longer support her and her work. I think it's a pity that she wrote a book series that basically defined a generation, and yet chose that to be her legacy instead.
The guy who hosted The Apprentice turned out to be a piece of work.
I heard he's some kind of politician now.
I'm a lifelong pro wrestling fan, so that list is pretty long.
This one's going to make some people upset, but Richard Kind. My aunt used to work as a waitress in NYC. There was some sort of event with a bunch of celebrities. At some point during the event, Richard Kind grabbed my aunt in a sexual manner and made sexual remarks toward her. Everybody also looks at him as a saint, but I trust my aunt and can't watch anything he does anymore. R. Kelly. The album 12 Play came out when I was a teenager. I know every single word and loved those songs. Now I can't listen to anything by him.
If I recall correctly, the money generated from his music goes to his victims now, so he gets none of it.
Honestly, I am scared to look too deeply into anyone's personal lives anymore. Seems the scum heavily outweigh the decent.
Sean Penn. People seem to forget that he kidnapped and beat Madonna for 3 days. I still can't get how people just let that go.
Ellen DeGeneres. I thought she was one of the most giving, funny people for daytime TV after Oprah left. My sister and I loved her show and watched it almost every day after school. We always wanted to go on, but the way she treated her people behind the scenes was nightmarish.
Oprah's hard to look at now after she and The Rock asked to raise money for Hawaii.
The comparison to Oprah is pretty apt, though. She is terrible as well. She is responsible for so much medical misinformation it's not even funny. Between Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil, and then platforming Jenny McCarthy and bringing vaccines cause autism ideas to the mainstream, her negative impact is immeasurably high.
Joss Whedon. I was a fan of so many of his projects, Buffy, Firefly, etc. It was so upsetting to find out he was an abusive piece of crap. Especially the way he treated Michelle Trachtenberg on Buffy and Charisma Carpenter on both Buffy and Angel.
Yeah, this one sucks. Buffy is one of my favorite shows. I always thought he was a good dude based on how well he wrote his women characters, only to find out he's a piece of crap.
Chevy Chase. Thought he was great way back. Turns out he's a total asshole.
The stories of his behavior while working on Community were enough to change my favorable opinion about him. John Hamm, until I found out he dragged a kid by the testicles with a claw hammer, burned his clothes, and beat him so badly with a paddle the kid had lifelong injuries. The incident was so messed up the kid had to drop out of college.
Well, like every other 15-year-old girl in 1994, I loved Jared Leto.
Danny Masterson from That 70s Show, and Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis for writing letters of support to the judge. How can you support someone guilty of sexual assault?
Ask Whoopi Goldberg. She defended Bill Cosby even when so many women were coming out with legitimate accusations. She used to be my hero.
I used to love Amanda Palmer's music, but apparently she's Ghislaine Maxwell.
My favorite description of her is a hot topic Ghislaine Maxwell.
Antwoord. I used to love their music before I found out what they're really like. Complete scumbags. Can't even listen to their music anymore because of it. I mean, they made Scumbag their whole aesthetic from the very beginning.
As a South African, imagine the most racist piece of crap scum trailer trash in the USA
became the spokesperson for your entire country. How would that make you feel? That's how we feel about Antwoord. We are not sending our best.
Bill Cosby. From celebrated comedian to sexual predator in a heartbeat.
Neil Patrick Harris, the Amy Winehouse cake story I've read about just doesn't sit right with me.
Get Him to the Greek features Jonah Hill, Russell Brand, and Diddy. I loved them all so much in that movie.
Now it's sort of a cavalcade of yikes.
Russell Brand pisses me off with how obvious he tried to save his career. As soon as allegations started coming, he immediately joined the MAGA crowd so he could say they are trying to silence him.
Genuinely don't know where to even start looking besides Googling Jonah Hill jerk or something. What did he do that he's in trouble for? Sean Connery. He was a proud wife beater. Jack Nicholson beat up an escort and left her disabled. Woody Allen, until I heard about little Dylan. Elon Musk. Oh wait, I never liked Elon Musk. Anthony Kiedis? I don't even enjoy listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers anymore.
This one's easy. Roman Polanski. Such an amazing talent. Extraordinary films in entirely different genres. Rosemary's Baby, horror, The Pianist, wartime drama or biography, Chinatown, film noir, Knife in the Water, psychological thriller. Awful childhood during the Holocaust. He would have been a sympathetic character in one of his own films if he wasn't also an unrepentant sexual predator.
Neil Gaiman. This one felt really bad to discover.
The Vulture article was a must-read, even if I threw up in my mouth while reading it.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It really helps. Subscribe for more, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one.